Welcome to the Serenity Oval here in Kamengo. Ceylon Lions, the home side, taking on the visitors, Marylebone Cricket Club, popularly known as the MCC. We are 3 overs into the game. MCC moving at a very nice rate of 8 runs every over, 24 for no loss. Their captain George and Oliver Soms are out there in the middle batting for them. Should be cricket. Probably because of the heavy rains that have been happening in the last couple of days. We saw one of those shots from the captain George. Didn't have the legs to go to the boundary, and probably he thought he was batting at the Lord's cricket ground where you get value for your shots, but this time the ball holding and unable to go all the way to the boundary. Dr. David Wabwire charging in from, would call it the park end. Hasn't been able to get his length right so far. His radar is a bit off. Oliver and George, we've seen that they've been putting away those bad balls. So every other time they've seen a bad ball, they've been quick to pounce onto it. Another very good shot through the covers. You can see the ball is struggling to get to the boundary. I think the batsman was worried there for a second that it wouldn't go all the way. But not a bad ball, just hitting through the line and finding the boundary. Changes in the field there from Ceylon Lions, trying to put an extra cover. So they bring the fine leg in. Maybe they just try to cut off the stem of runs, the flow of runs. Make sure they are not chasing a big total. This is the first of 2 T20 games that are going to happen today here at the Serenity Oval. Hit hard this time, but there's cover. Suleiman will just keep it to 1. I think because there was a man out there this time, so the batsman tried to hit it very hard. Probably thinking if the extra cover cannot carry it off, it will go away for 4. But originally they were just not trying to hit it hard. They were just making sure that they can caress it through the covers. Ceylon Lions have already used 3 bowlers. Collins Abong opened the bowling from the road end. David Wabwire is into his second over. And Ivan Baidu has also bowled just 1 over. Stand and deliver again. 4 more runs. Very good wicket ball coming to bat. So the batsmen are very, very sure when they hit a shot. The difference is just the outfield looks a lot heavier than the usual. The come and go. The outfield has been very, very good ever since cricket started happening here. But this time the outfield is very heavy. I think there was some wax on the ground. And some of the patches there, the grass hasn't grown very well. So it's a bit out heavy. But a good shot there from Oliver Swams. Big shot this time. 6 runs just over the head. Just over here, my head. David Wawire picked up there and deposited right on top of this small pavilion here at the Serenity Oval. Oliver and George already made business. The captain here, Ruan, very, very close to me and already asking his bowler how many balls to go. I think he's very, very worried that this could be a very big over. 10 runs taken off 2 balls. Swing and a miss this time there from Oliver. Good way to finish the over from David Wabwire. But a good over for the MCC because they get at least 15 runs off it. 4 overs gone, 40 runs for no loss, the MCC. Over here from the MCC. 15 runs coming off it. They are 40 for no loss after 4 overs. Hong Kong. Changing the ball, the captain who was directing into the attack from the road end. More changes in the bowling here for Ceylon Lions, and the captain Ruan introduces himself. Run out, just a bit casual. I can't make out that face properly, but I think that's Collins Abong from who's standing at mid-on. If you had picked it up quickly, there was a chance there for a run out because George and Oliver was a bit casual in taking that run. Ooh. Good stuff there from Ruan. Balls it up. Beats the batsman. Ruan replacing Ivan Baidu from the road end. Very, very comfortable with the pace, George and Oliver. And a good shot there. There's a chance for a catch. But goes all the way for 4 runs. Again, a bit casual there from Collins Abong this time, who's at long off. I think he misread the flight of the delivery. Wasn't sure whether to come in for the catch or stay back and try and save the boundary. In the end, he didn't do neither. And the ball goes away for a boundary. The man at mid-off and mid-on is Eddie Agaba. Big shot. This time there is no man out there, and it goes all the way for 6. 10 runs off that over, the 5th over. MCC cruising at 10 runs every over. They are 50 for no loss. More spin this time coming from the park end, the Forest Park end, and Hasith Duhara is going to replace David Wabwire. First game was in Jinja against the UCA 11. The UCA 11 winning that game by 6 wickets. They played another game well. The Ceylon Lions, the home side here. So we'll understand how to manipulate the conditions. The challenge for him would be that we are still in the power play. This is the final over of the power play. So you can clearly see that George and Oliver are trying to make sure that hitting over the top or trying to find those gaps before the field is spread. Intention very, very clear, trying to hit over the top. Wicket time. Hasit with the breakthrough for Ceylon Lions. Oliver, who has been the aggressor, losing his wicket going across the line. But his intent was very, very clear. He was trying to make sure that probably he gets as many runs as possible in this power play. And unfortunately, he falls for 33 of 16. Hit 3 maximums and 3 boundaries in his 33. MCC 53 for 1 after 5.5 overs. Last wicket for Ceylon Lions. Oliver out for 33. MCC now 53 for 1 after 6 overs. Change in the bowling again for Ceylon Lions. Interestingly, Jonathan Sebanja not taking his usual run-up, and he is bowling spin. Good tactics here from Ceylon Lions. The spin clearly has slowed down the run scoring because George and Oliver had taken a liking to the medium pace from Ceylon Lions. Jack Beaumont is the new batter for the MCC. I think that's why Jonathan Sebanya has also decided to bowl spin instead of his usual medium pacers. Bit untidy there from the wicketkeeper Stephen Wabose. But that ends the 7th over. MCC now 57 for 1 after 7 overs.
No, he's talking on phone, so he was talking on phone, so his mic is off. Yeah, when he's done, he'll take his seat.
Hasith Dilhara doing the business so far for Ceylon Lions. He's been able to drag. Oh, unfortunate there from Hasith. Sure, I would have fielded that off his own bowling. Scoring has slowed down because of the spinners because MCC had taken a liking to the medium pace, but now with the slow bowlers, Hasis especially, and Jonathan Sebanya from the other end, the run scoring has slowed down. First shot of intent against the spinners doesn't yield much apart from just one run. Will only get one run for that. Another good over there from Hasith. 8 overs down. MCC 60 for 1. MCC clearly struggling against the spinners. They took a lot of runs off the medium pacers of David Wabwire, Ivan Baidu, and Colin Zabong, but now they're struggling to find the boundaries. George and Oliver had scored 40 in 4 overs. But now, since the introduction of spin, Hasses Dilhara, Rowan, and Jonathan Sebanja. Good stuff there from Rowan in covers. That was the surest thing if it had gone past him, but he's able to carry it off. Oli Halley, the new batter for MCC. A good over there from Jonathan Sebanja. Picked up a wicket in that over and went for just a 1 run. 63 for 2 after 9 overs. MCC. This is the first of 2 T20 games they'll be playing today here at the Serenity Oval. Before they take on the Uganda is the UCA 11 in a 2-day game tomorrow at Entebbe. Four wickets down, the MCC assists Dilhara. The difference in the game so far. He has picked up his second wicket. Traps the junior man Oliver LBW. MCC now 63 for 4. 63 for 3 after 9.2 overs. Now The new batter for the MCC is Sam Badge. Oli Halley didn't stay for so long. Trapped LBW by Hasith. Gets off the mark. New batter, I'm thinking Ceylon Lions could try and attack him rather than allowing him that freedom to just pick up the one very easily. Fielders in, especially the guy at long on. Rather than be defensive against both of them. Good bowling there from Hasith, giving it a little bit of flight, nearly deceived some Badge. The opportunities, but they also put the opportunities to pick up wickets. But there's also a lot of opportunities to score runs. There's no one in mid-wicket. And exactly, some Badge does that. There's no one in mid-wicket. So a little bit of bat in that gap will give you an easy single. It's some Badges that's coming. Very good over there from Hasith. Picks up a wicket and gives away just 3 runs. MCC now 66 for 3 after 10 overs. After 4 overs, the MCC was cruising at 10 runs every over. So Ceylon Lions have done so well to drag this back. The run rate now just over 6.5. Jonathan Sebanja and Hasith have been the key men in this. Sebanja bowling spinners, not a very bad option because it has done well to try and drag back the MCC. Tick around the corner. Unfortunately, the outfield is a little bit very heavy. So you'll have to work very hard in the middle for all the runs. You get no little or no help from the outfield. The rains have really made the outfield very heavy. So your options for boundaries should be either aerial or a couple of misfields. Good areas there from Jonathan Sebanja, who has kept the batsmen very quiet and picked up a wicket so far. That one. You want to take a back to Rwanda or business only? I think Ceylon Lions won't mind the singles. At least have been able to cut off those boundaries. Considering how the ground looks like, probably 140 could be a good total for them to defend. Sweep shot there from Sam. Runs very hard. And poor work there from Suleiman at the boundary. Puts in a dive, but he's unable to cut off the ball. The first boundary in quite some time for the MCC. 75 for 3 after 11. You have a lot of cricket in Rwanda happening, yeah? Yeah, that's a bit of that. Yeah. What do you mean by the fix match? Which guys? Yeah. A big shot. Big shot there from Oliver. Oliver has looked in the mood. Walks to that ball and hits it over the head of Deus Muhumza, who's standing at long off. Goes into the vanilla farm here around the Kamengo Oval. Sith has bowled very, very well, but once Oliver saw the flight, all he needed to do was to make sure he gets to the pitch of that delivery, and he did the rest. Shot of the day so far. It's very, very early days. A good cricket there. Followed this boundary with a single. They don't know there was Muhumuza taking on his arm. Sam Burgess has only one job, to make sure that he gets Oliver on strike, and he's doing just that. How well played there by Oliver. This time Hasid bowling it very quickly, but he had everything covered, Oliver, and just picks up an easy single. A good over so far from the MCC. They had been kept quiet for some time, but now the boundaries are coming. There was a sweep shot there from Sam in the previous over. Seen a big 6 from Oliver in this one. Good cricket and a good over for them. 10 runs of it. 85 for 3 after 12, the MCC. Ruan back into the attack. Had some trouble in his first over. Went for a couple of runs, but is now back into the attack. Ruan bowls with right, but bats left-handed. Not a pure left-hander like Jonathan Sebanja. Sebanja is also not a pure left-hander. Bowls with left, but bats with right. Hit hard, but there's a man getting at it. Down the throat of Eddie Agaba, who takes a very comfortable catch. Not Eddie Agaba, my apologies. Robinson Obuya is the man standing there at long on. And he removes a man who scored a very good 40. Oliver Holmes. 5 wickets down the MCC. They are 86 for 5. Good work there from Hasith. The throw not as good as the pickup, but very good work there from him in covers. Ruan comes back into the attack and picks up the big wicket of Oliver. Oliver scored 48 of 31 balls, 3 boundaries and 4 maximums. Johnny Piers, the new batsman for the MCC. Ooh, good delivery there from Ruan. Ruan likes to bowl that Caron ball. I'm thinking in the second game that will happen in the afternoon. I highly doubt that Ceylon Lions will bowl any pace. Very good shot there from Sam. Gives himself room and hits it through covers. I don't think Ceylon Lions will bowl any pace. For the MCC in the afternoon. $13 overs gone, 93 for 4 of the MCC. Projected total at this rate should be 7. Will be 144. Not a bad total on this ground. But I will wait and see where they will finish. 93 for 4 after 13 overs. It's a 20-over game, so we have at least 7 more overs left in this inning. Jonathan Sebanya switching ends, and this time coming to bowl from the Forest Park end. Sebanya bowling his final over. Is gone for 16, picked up a wicket in his 3 overs. Hathis finished his quarter. Bowled 4 overs, picked up 2 wickets for 18 runs. That 18 runs, if you remove the 6 that was hit off him by Oliver, could have just been 12 runs. A very, very good spell here from Hasit Dilhara. Sam using his feet. Sebanya not making a big effort there and trying to stop it. I'm wondering who Rowan is going to turn to bowl the remaining overs, because Hasis is out of. Has bowled his quarter. Sebanya is bowling his last one. Simple catch there from Johnny Piers to Sebanya, who picks up his second wicket. Sebanya is out of his overs. He's bowling his final over. Ruan has at least 2 more, but maybe if they want to bowl more spin, they will need someone else to bowl from the end that Sebanya is taking on. 5 wickets down, 95 for 5 MCC after 13.3 overs. I've just been educated that Jonathan Sebanya bowled a very good spell of spin for Uganda against Singapore in 2004 in Malaysia. I remembered somewhere that Sebanya has bowled spin before, and for Uganda as well. Good spell there from Sebanja. Gave away just 1 run and picked up a wicket to finish his quarter. He's finished his quarter of 4, giving away 18 as well, like Hasith, and picked up 2 wickets. The MCC 95 for 5 after 14 overs. Hey, good work there from Ivan Baidu to cut that off. Beaten all hands up there from Rowan. Very good delivery. Picks up his 3rd wicket, by the way. 2nd wicket, not 3rd. MCC now staring down the barrel. 96 for 6. They're actually struggling to get to their 100-run mark. The spin has clearly been the difference for them today. Jonathan Sebanja, Hasith Dilhara, and Ruan, now who's back into the attack, have done the business. Craig Marshall, the man bowled there by Rowan. Soft hands. Tucks it into square leg. They pick up a single. The new batter is William Rowe for the MCC. Sam Badge has been there for quite some time. 17 of 13 balls. And maybe he's the man who hope the MCC get to the 3 magic figures. My neighbor here is wondering whether they will be able to get to that point. A good work there from Colin Zabong. Picks it up well and puts in a very, very good arm. Good height there for the keeper to effect a run out. The interesting one is going to be who's going to come from this other end. Will they go to spin or try and bring back the pace bowlers? $15 overs gone, 5 more overs in this inning. The MCC 97 for 6. good start there from Kenneth Wise. So I saw him bowling very well in the Africa Cup for Uganda. Has very, very good variations for T20 cricket. So I'm thinking that's why they're trying to utilize him and make sure that they keep MCC quiet. The spin has done so well to keep them quiet, so you don't want to allow them to get away from you and post a very, very big total. Good slower ball there. Sam Burgess had moved out of his crease, but got deceived there by the slower ball. I think Sam is going to be the key for the MCC if they're going to get too close to about 120. He's been there for quite some time, already on 18. You just need William Rowe to keep him company so that he doesn't run out of partners. Very good intent there from William. The execution just not there for him. But with the fine leg up, that is an assured gap. As long as you get some bat onto that, I'm sure it will be able to run away for 4. Good slower ball. Thick outside edge. Beats the keeper and runs away for 4. But again, not a bad over there from Kenneth Waiswa. 103 for 6. The MCC after 16 overs. Ruan into his final over. Coach Samuel Lusimi very close to us, and he thinks that Ruan should have made a better effort in trying to cut off that ball, maybe dive and take a catch. But we all know that maybe Ruan used to do that in his younger days. Now there are bigger things at risk. Ruan runs a multi-billion company. I don't think he will be risking his hand to try and cut off a single. William Rowe and Sam Badge. Good stuff there from Rowe and has kept it tight. His last 3 overs have been very, very tight. Ceylon Lions has done so well. At a certain time, MCC was cruising at 10 runs every over. Now not possible because Ceylon Lions have done so well. Chance for a catch. Whoa! Would have been a brilliant one-hander there from David Wabwire. Threw himself at it. Just didn't stick for him. Top effort there from David Wabwire. Dr. David Wabwire at short fine leg. 110 for 6 after 17 overs, the MCC. This time the execution is on for William Rowe. That's all. He showed that intent in the last over. He was trying to pick up that gap, and this time he gets enough bat onto that and runs away for 4. How many more can the MCC get from here on? 115 after 17.2 overs. Slower ball into the wicket. Wow. Took on the arm there of David Wabwire. Slower ball into the pitch there from Kenneth Waiswa. So not very, very easy to hit there for Sam Badge. Pick up 2 runs, 6 from this over so far. Not a bad return. Good slower ball again. Good variations here from Kenneth Waiswa to just make sure that the batters don't get used to one thing. Seems to be struggling with the outfield as well. Very, very heavy. Hit to the sweeper, Suleiman That's a good clean-up job to just keep it to 1. Good change of pace from Kenneth Weiss and a good over from him. 18 overs gone, 120 for 6. Changing the bowling, Deus Muhumza replacing Ruan from that road end. Kamengo about 38, about 40 to 38 kilometers from the capital Kampala. This oval is strategically located along the highway. Very, very difficult to miss it from here. Probably if you use public means, about $3 will get you here very, very easily. Deus Mahomes, another very intelligent bowler. Very, very good with variations. So some Badge struggling to pick him up. William Rowe, we saw him using the pace of Kenneth Waiswa to pick up a couple of boundaries in the last over. Let's see what he's going to do against Deus Mahomes. Good reverse sweep. Goes for 4. Innovative there from William Rowe. Good work there from David Wabwire. If that beaten him, would have run away for 4. William Rowe clearly looking at picking up those gaps. Maybe he's not very, very strong in front of the wicket, but because the fine leg and third man are up, so he's making sure he's trying to beat those 2 fielders. Works in T20 cricket. Swings hard. There's a lot of work to do for Suleiman. This time he keeps it in. Very, very good work there from Suleiman. $126 for 6. MCC, they are trying to make sure they get at least 140. 140 would be a very decent total. The difference for Ceylon Lions has been the spinners. I do not know so much about the bowling for the MCC. Ooh, very casual there for Ivan Baidu at the boundary. Gives them a second one. Should have been just 1 run. 130 for 6. The final over coming up. Kenneth Weiser will be the man to bowl that. Hit hard, chance for a catch. Ooh. Comes very, very quickly there to Hasith. And is unable to hold on to it. Gives away 4 runs. Hope he's okay. Ball looked like he grazed his face. It came very, very quickly to him. Nearly took off his face. William Rowe with a hit. Some work to do there in the deep there for Suleiman. Very, very heavy outfield. By the time Suleiman got to the ball, it was even dead already. So there's very little help from the outfield for the batters. 136. The projected total had been 140. Good change of pace there from Kenneth Weiser. Just not letting the batters get on top of him. He had created an opportunity already. That chance put down there by Hasith at long off. Tempted slower ball just didn't come off very well there from Kenneth Weiser. Another 6 back-to-back sixes from Sam Badge, who's taking the game to Kenneth Weiser already. 144 for 6 MCC. An expensive over here from Kenneth Weiser. This one is gone for 2 sixes. 2 sixes and a 4. Already 16 runs, already 17 runs off it. Final ball. Every ball in this over has been an event. Let's see what happens on the final ball of this first innings. Game between the first T20 game between the MCC and Ceylon Lions. 150 for 6 MCC. Wide ball. Run out there by Stephen Wabose. William Rowe trying to steal a single, but finishes 151 for 6 the MCC. Very good cameo there at the end there from Samba scoring 44, and good support from William Rowe, who got 23. 152 will be the requirement for Ceylon Lions, but their spinners are the guys who put them in this game. Ruan picking up 2 wickets. The captain, Jonathan Sebanya, Hasis Delhar also picking up 2 wickets. MCC finishing on 151, largely due to a big effort there at the end from Samba, who scored 44 of 27 balls, and William Rowe, who got 25 of 19. 152 will be the runs needed by Ceylon Lions in the second innings. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back. 10 minutes, the chase will be back on. Welcome back to the second innings of this match, the first T20 game between Ceylon Lions and the MCC. Very, very intelligently, the MCC choosing to open bowling with spin because they saw what happened in the first innings. There was actually no need to bowl pace for them, so they decided to open with spin. Ruwan opening the batting with Robinson Obuya. Let's see how they negotiate these spinners. Two fielders out of the circle. There's a long on, and someone at deep mid wicket. Reverse sweep there from Robinson, but we won't run away for 4. The outfield very, very heavy from the rains, so you will get very, very little value from your shots if you try and rely on the outfield. One over gone, just 4 runs off it for Ceylon Lions, chasing 151 for the win. So they need to be moving at about just over 7.5 runs every over. Just need to stay with the rate, and then maybe later on can go after the total. Craig Marshall, the opening bowler for the MCC, who bowled the last over of spin. This time they go to pace bowler from the road end. Hey, good work there from the keeper, Sambaji. Looked like was going to run away for 4. Some tidy pace there from tick off the pads. Gets Ruan off the mark. Harvey Booth is the bowler there from the road end. Runs there for Robinson Obuya. Fortunate, gets a thick outside edge and runs away for 4. No one standing in that slip region, so interesting field set. The third man is up in the circle. There's a fine leg and a deep square leg. I don't know if Harvey Booth has a short ball on him, and that's why he will need someone there deep square leg. Swing and a miss there from Robinson Obuya. Good over there from Harvey Booth. 14 for no loss, Ceylon Lions. Craig Marshall continues from the Forest back end. Up in the air, but falls in no man's place. Ruan didn't get enough on that sweep shot. Attempted sweep shot. Got a top edge, but fell in no man's land, and he survives. Clearly, they're also struggling with the spin because that is what worked for them in trying to make sure that MCC doesn't score a lot of runs. Hit hard there by Robinson Obuya behind square and goes away for 4. That's power is nothing without control. Strong shot there by Robinson Obuya. Harvey Booth put under pressure immediately by Robinson Obuya. Harvey Booth gets his man. Robinson Obuya falls. Caught behind. There was a bit of a fumble there. Juggle by Sam Badge, the keeper. But he finally hangs on. The first wicket to fall for Ceylon Lions. Robinson Obuya gone for 17. 24 for 1. Robinson seemed like the aggressor of the two between him and Rowan. It's gone out. Deus Muhumza comes in very early. But in the context of things, may not be very early because he's been batting at number 3 for the Cricket Cranes. So Deus, the kind of who always first takes his time before he gets into the groove. So it's no surprise that he has come in now. Harvey Booth still all over the place, yet to get his bearings, bowling both sides of the wicket. But importantly, he's picked up the big wicket of Robinson Obuya, who seemed to be taking the game to the MCC. 152 is what Ceylon Lions need. 9 wickets is what the MCC needs. Surprised that Deus Muhumza has missed out on 2 balls outside of stump. He's very, very strong in that region, but he's missed out on 2 cut shots. After 5 overs, Ceylon Lions is 25 for 1, moving at a rate of about 5 runs every over. The required rate is just a touch above 7.5, so they'll need to make sure they stay in touching distance with that. And I'm joined in the commentary box by Budo Cricket Club's own Mr. Abu Mayanja. Abu, how do you make of the game so far? I know you've just come, but
Yeah, good morning, our viewers and listeners. Do we have any viewers?
it's a live stream, so we have viewers.
Okay, good morning. Good to be here. My maiden visit to the Kamengo Serenity Oval. Great to see the MCC back. I actually played against the MCC when they visited Budo in the early 2000s. It's great to see this great English tradition club coming back. Great shot from Ruan. Pick up one. It's good to see the MCC back here. Good initiative from the Uganda Cricket Association to keep this partnership going. We are in for a great treat. I hope the series will live up to its billing. Thank you for inviting me, Dennis, for my maiden appearance on the commentary show. Looking forward to sharing my views.
Abu, you've mentioned that you played the MCC. When was that, and who are some of the players that you could, off your head, could probably remember? And what did it mean something that Budo was playing against the MCC? Very good shot there from Deus Muhumza. Leans back, but there's a way he gets power into that shot. Technically, they will tell you lean forward and get the power into the drive. But he leans back and hits it straight through covers for his first boundary and his first runs for the team. Abu, you were telling us about MCC coming to Budo.
Unfortunately, I was a young kid, around 15 years old. I don't remember any names offhand. All I remember, I had a very quiet day that afternoon. Didn't score many. I spent the whole afternoons fielding at first slip with my captain Luamafa in wicket keeping. A very cold afternoon. I remember it was my first time to see massive sixes being hit on the Bodo ground. But we learnt a lot from their visit. They had a coaching clinic. Actually, okay, let's watch this ball. Actually, the very first member of the MCC to tour Budo was in 1998 when the former England captain Graham Gooch came over, had a coaching clinic. At the time, Budo used to come second best to Mwiri. So we're trying to get a solution as to how we can win that coveted Cricket Schools Week trophy. So they sent Graham Gooch to have a word with us. And I think that culminated into the MCC team touring a few years later. But unfortunately, I don't remember any names offhand. I only remember the last time they came here, there was a former England international by the names of Jamie Derelimpo, the off-spinner. That's what I remember. I had some work commitments. I didn't follow that tour keenly. But fortunately, I've been to the MCC headquarters. So I know a lot about the MCC. And I hope we shall build this partnership and benefit from it.
Six overs, 33 for 1. That voice is the voice of Abu Mayanja, who's been telling us his history with the MCC. Over the top there from Rowan and runs away for 4. Bit of a hesitation in the middle there with him and Deus Muhumza. They were not sure whether it will have the legs to go over the rope, but it finally does. Welcome runs there for Rowan and Ceylon Lions. Harvey Booth still bowling from that road end. Abo, you've been to the headquarters of the MCC. A lot of people do not know, but the MCC have their headquarters at the Cathedral of Cricket.
Yes, for sure. The MCC is headquartered at the Lord's Cricket Oval or the Lord's Cricket Ground. They are the guardians of the, what you would say, the cricket rules. Recently, they have amended some few rules. Dennis, you may be aware of them. The current president of the MCC is called, shall I forget, but I know the outgoing one, Mr. Kuma Sangakara.
Current president is Claire Corner.
Claire Corner, okay.
Ooh, chance there, but over the head of the man who's standing in at short fine leg. Fortune favors the brave, and Deus Muhumza just helps it along and runs away for 4.
Yeah, good shot from Davis. Yeah, as I was telling you a little bit about the MCC, they are the guardians of the cricket laws globally. One would wonder why the ICC is not headquartered in London. Actually, so many people don't know that the ICC is headquartered in Dubai. So the MCC, being our guardians of the cricket laws, they are the sole body that changes the laws or amends or introduces a new law. So it's a great family to be part of. It's a much coveted family. Cost an arm and a leg to become a member or to give you their membership. Yeah.
Abu, a lot of people have not had the privilege of being to the Cathedral of Cricket. What's the feeling? What's it like? Why is it even called a Cathedral of Cricket? Because a lot of people would not make sense as to why the MCC... There are some nice cricket grounds, Wanderers in South Africa, the Gahanga in Rwanda. Why is Lord's the Cathedral of Cricket?
Well, that's a good question, interesting. Because if you look at the history, actually, the Oval, which is another cricket ground in the UK, seems to have more history, cricket-wise. But Lords, as the word Lords, if you understand from the British setting, there's so many things that are attached to the word Lords, House of Lords, things like that. Lord Dennis, Lord Sam, Lord Abu. So it's a heritage that...
Excuse me, Lord Abu.
in case to... Yeah, I can apply to become a lord of something in the UK. It's not actually that difficult, but it's a much coveted title. They have to screen you, vet you, and everything. So lords, like the English, like being pioneers of so many things. We introduce football, we introduce rugby, we introduce cricket. So they like having a certain, I would call it foundation. So when you get to lords, like you hear on the commentary, maybe I would equate it to football, but even in cricket, when you get to Lords, it's a different setup. It's not a ground where people shout, scream. As actually, when you're coming to the ground, there's something that Andrew Flintoff said. Lords is the only cricket ground where by a needle, if a needle was to fall down, you would hear it. So that is Lords for you. It's not the Gahanga, the Wanderers, the Edgbaston, whereby you'll find people drinking. They make those beer, what do they call them? Those beer, when they put the...
I think they call them beer boundaries or something like that.
Yeah. You won't find that at Lords. When they're bowling, all of you have to be seated. No one makes noise. You only clap for a boundary. They wear even their uniform, as you see the collars of these gentlemen here. That's how their tie looks like. So Lords is different. It has that special feeling that you can only experience when you get there.
$46-1, Ceylon Lions. The grind is on for them. They just lost that 1 wicket of Robinson Obuya. Deus Dedit Muhumuza. Deus Dedit Muhumuza and Rowan trying to make sure that they force the issue. They need 105 runs from 81 balls, and they should be scoring at a rate of about 7.5 every over. The wicket-keeper Sambaji moving up the stumps. Jack Grandi, the bowler. Hesitation there. Was a chance for a run out. Fielder very, very unaware. But Deus was interested in a run. I don't think Rowan was very ready for it. Should be a very, very interesting game here, Abu, especially if it goes up to the end.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a good game. Davis has come out of the blocks quickly. Rowan, as we know, is capable of going big anytime. As we see that one, down to mid-off for an easy one. I think they just need to get a boundary per over and they'll be fine. And they can scratch around for 1 or 2. Yeah.
How much history do you know about the MCC, Abu? I know you're a man who's very, very interested in UK, considering that you support the Magpies, one of the richest clubs.
The Magpies are actually the rich. They are not the richest club. They have the richest owners.
The richest owners, yeah. And also a big fan of the Poms. How much do you know about the MCC and why is it important for them to visit a country like Uganda?
The MCC, like I told you earlier, they are the guardians of the cricket laws. So ideally, you would say it's one of the oldest cricket clubs in the country, in the world. So if they are coming to visit your nation, it should be something that should be we should be proud of that visit, and we should try to build on it. These tours should happen. Probably they should even be reciprocated if time and resources could allow. So the MCC, as I had said earlier, is a unique club. They don't play competitively. They play such games, but they are competitive in nature. As we see Davis skying that one. The leg spinner picks up a wicket, 49 for 2. So the MCC doesn't play competitively, but they tour. They tour different countries. They tour different cricket clubs. And they help develop the game. That's one of their objectives, to help grow the game, to promote the game, and to give a chance to people who would otherwise just look at cricket as by the way. As you can see, the MCC is made up of different members from different countries. So it's a good community to bring the cricket world together. So one of the things that it does is to fulfill the objectives of the Commonwealth, which is togetherness.
Second wicket down goes Hawks at mid-wicket. Ceylon Lions now 49 for 2. Lions looking to just go 151. 6 overs gone. Ed Milton doing taking the wicket off his own bowling to remove Deus Muhumuza. Deus gone for 14 of 18 balls. Not very, very fluid from him. The new batter is Suleiman Sharif. Abu, the bowler who took out Deus Muhumuza. I don't remember quite well, but I don't know if it was for the Labour Party or the Conservatives.
Yeah, he has a good.
I was mentioning that the name is Ed Milton.
Ed Milton. Oh, he's a Labour guy.
I think he was the former leader of Labour.
Ed Miliband. Is that what
Oh,
you
yeah, the other one was Ed Miliband.
Yeah, Ed Miliband was the former Labour leader. And the brother, David Miliband, former Foreign Secretary, they actually stood against each other for Labour chairmanship. Suleiman off the mark. So as
any other fielders, I think, would have run too.
yeah, but this pair, of course, we're not going to be seeing a lot of twos. It will either be one or boundary.
Coach Sam Walusimbi clearly hasn't lost any of his energy. Shouting from outside here after Rowan trying to attempt a single that wasn't there. Again, not putting a lot of pressure on the fielders. These two guys, Suleiman Sharif and Rowan. So they will need to make sure that they are dealing in a lot of boundaries to try and make up for those missed ones and twos. 7 overs gone, 52 for 2. So, Abu, you were telling us that the MCC, as they are right now, they don't play together in the UK as a club, but they come together. There are players from different clubs who come together to make up these tours.
Yes, certainly. Yeah, the MCC is not a competitive club. They just come together to tour around, of course, the UK, around cricket nations and upcoming cricket nations. I heard some time back that they were trying to do something in China. The ICC would want to have another big powerhouse in terms of numbers. I don't know how far China has gone, but they do qualify for some regional Asian tournaments with the hope of Hong Kong. Yeah, but that's it. The MCC is not doesn't play competitive cricket in the leagues. Yeah, but they come together. They select a side or they select a squad according to availability, and then they tour.
Good shot there from Rowan, but straight to the man there, deep mid-wicket. They said to become a member from the MCC is very, very difficult. Could take you ages to be on the waiting line. Is it that prestigious to be a member of the MCC, and what are the benefits of being a member of the MCC?
Well, some of the questions I need to have gone back to my books. But yes, for sure, it's not a club where you just show up, but you show your availability and you join. It takes a lot of, in our words, we call it lobbying. And of course, the pockets come into play. You must be in and around the circles, of course, of the MCC, which is in the UK, London. So you may find that some great players, one dropped there. You may find that some great players that didn't come from city background actually don't even make it to the MCC even when they retire or they pass their prime. So it's a much coveted family. I wouldn't say you bribe your way to get there, but it certainly costs an arm and a leg to become a member and to also be given the membership, because sometimes they choose people like Clive Lloyd. Those are people who are permanent members of MCC, people who have achieved a lot in cricket. Of course, Vivian Richards, people like that. So even these young ones that you see, You may find he's a son of a lord. That word I said earlier, lord something, or mutaka, or mwami, whatever it is, or HT, or things like that. So, yeah.
$56 for 2 after 9 overs, as Abu Mayanja takes us through some history about the MCC and how prestigious it is to be part of that big cricketing family. I think for those the people who watch cricket, who have watched some Test cricket, at Suleiman Sharif gives a very simple catch, leading edge to the man at short third man, Ed Milton, with his second wicket. Ceylon Lions now 56 for 3 after 9.1 overs. Abu was saying that people who watch Test cricket and have watched cricket at Lords, there's that long corridor that the players go through, and those particular seats are only reserved for MCC members, as I understand.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, that part of the pavilion, you can only sit there. If you're a member of the MCC, as I told you earlier, they have a special necktie that you have to wear on match day. You can't be allowed at that particular part or in that particular part of the ground. I remember I went to watch a one-day game between England and New Zealand at Lords, and I wanted to get an autograph from the New Zealand players. I somehow managed to come close, but still you can see, those areas that you yourself, you feel you can't enter. You really see you don't belong there. So that famous long room and just the seats outside, especially for a test match. For a one-day international, you can get away with it, but for a test match, you have to be smartly dressed. Yeah. So as I was telling you earlier, the MCC has over 15,000 members and around 5,000 from associate members. Of course, that means the likes of Musali, Davis, or even myself, we can apply for membership if we fulfill other requirements, but it has 18,000 members. Those, I think, from the original Test cricket playing nations, mostly, of course, from England and Australia, maybe India, West Indies. Those make up the largest number of members. Then the associate members, of course, the likes of Uganda. I don't know if we have anyone. It was interesting I will ask Mr. Walusimbi. That's a good cover drive off the mark.
Oh, yay. Just go through the man who put in a slide. Made up a lot of ground at extra cover, but he was unable to carry it off. But a very, very good shot there from Kenneth Waiswa.
So there's even a waiting list to join membership of the MCC. It's not something that you apply for and you get within a couple of weeks or months. There's a waiting list. And of course you have a vote. Back of the length, pulled away to mid-wicket, deep mid-wicket. The new batsman has come in with some flair. Off the mark with a lovely cover drive.
I think for players like Kenneth Waiswa, this is an opportunity for them to get some very good game time out there in the middle, but also to show that they have the ability to come and dominate games like this and dominate good teams like the MCC. So it will be good for him to go out there and put on a good show.
Certainly, young Kenneth Waiswa, I don't know if he's still young anymore, but young Kenneth Waiswa needs to take this opportunity with both hands to get some much needed batting time in the middle against a relatively good attack. He will be tested with a tall leg spinner.
Left and right combination between Kenneth Waiswa and Ruan. No. Intelligent bowling there from Ed Milton. 62 for 3 after 10 overs. Ceylon Lions. Both teams were the same, round about the same score at this time. $89, the requirement of 60 balls for Ceylon Lions at a rate of about 9 runs every over. Very well played there from Kenneth Weiser, who has come up very, very aggressive. He's showing a lot of intent, making sure that he's not dominated by the bowlers. Good way to start.
Lovely catch by the wicket keeper there. It wasn't a caught, it was bowled. It was bowled round the legs. Okay.
Rowan completely missed that, losing his wicket. 65 for 4. Ceylon Lions. Jonathan Sebanja nearly getting a leading edge there to give away a very simple catch. Very casual. It's just lucky that the ball falls in no one's land. Gets off the mark with a single. Ceylon Lions will need a very big partnership to make sure that they get very, very close to that total so that they have an opportunity to go after it at the back end of the innings. Right now, even as Sebanja and Kenneth Weiser try to rebuild, they don't need to bog themselves down. They need to make sure that they are still scoring runs to make sure that they are in touching distance. Otherwise, the required run rate keeps going up. And looking at that Ceylon Lions batting lineup, they don't have a lot of sloggers down the order. First time here for you, Abu. What do you like? And is it as big as Chambogo, Lugogo, or Ginger?
Certainly, it's not a very big oval. I actually thought it's as big as not standards, the minimum international standards. Yeah, lovely ground. Good initiative by Serenity and the Ceylon family. I hope we can pick a leaf to develop grounds across the country. Yeah, and I hope it will be able to promote the game of cricket in these areas. There are so many schools on this road. It's one of the most actually. It has the most schools in the country. This road. So if the cricket development managers are keen, they have a facility that they can work with to develop the sport further. Yeah.
I think the key thing is that you always want wherever a cricket ground has come up, the game has gone on to thrive in that region. So you're hoping that the schools here, the primary schools or secondary schools, can pick up and take up the game.
For sure. That's why I said the development managers at the secretariat will have to also come and work hand in hand. And now that they have a facility, they can be able to benchmark on that to promote the sport and build our future Kenneth Kamyukas and the Sempers of this world. As we see one of the MCC members replicating a Simon Jones of 2003, went in for a dive and his knee got stuck in the wet outfield.
Very heavy outfield here.
Yeah, so we hope he's okay.
Better be.
We hope he's
Have
okay.
a 2-day game starting tomorrow. Yeah, the 2-day game starts tomorrow in Entebbe. Needs a lot of energy.
It's been a while since Uganda played a 2-day game. Did we last play against AfriPulse or something?
I think.
When Steve Tikolo was still playing for AfriPulse.
And I think the difference is that the application for
Sebanja with his rather unconventional sweep shots gets that one to the boundary for a much needed boundary for Ceylon Lions. So we're still talking about the 2-day game. Back then our batsmen used to apply themselves better. I think because they used to bat for long. We didn't have a lot of grass wickets then. Maybe. Is that a reason? We played a couple of 2-day games against AfriPulse. I remember Steve Tikolo batting for a full day and a half. As Sebanja gets that one, short of the length, over mid-wicket for 6. This over proving to be very costly on the MCC side. Good initiative from Sebanja, upping the ante, putting that bad ball away. So Dennis, what do you remember about the 2-day games and what benefit did they have on Uganda's cricket back then? Sebanja gifts a rather simple catch back to the bowler. He tried to turn it to the onside and got a leading edge back to the bowler. Ceylon Lions 85 for 5, chasing 151.
Sebanja trying to work that ball to the leg side, and unfortunately only manages to get a leading edge.
So Dennis, I was asking you about that AfriPulse 2-day game. I think that's the last 2-day game I watched. Did Uganda ever play 2-day cricket again ever since then?
I think ever since we stopped playing in I think it was
Cricket
called the
Whites.
Intercontinental Cup or something like that. There hasn't been a lot of effort to try and play the longer version of the game, and even for the associates now, they are not. What is the right word to use? They are not.
They're not
advised to try and focus on the longer version because they mostly compete in white ball cricket. So.
Okay, but I think there were some things that we miss out from the 2-day games, especially the application. Our batsmen are no longer patient on the wicket.
That's so true. The 2-day games are really very, very important for the young players, especially. You and I can miss out now, but I think the young ones, they really need them. And of course, the tea and biscuit were also very nice.
You hear from the upper accolades of ICC, the people who have played cricket at the highest level, people like Wazim Akram talking about the potential demise of 50 over cricket. Dennis, what do you think is the future of 50 over cricket, especially for us nations that are trying to come up based on 50 over cricket? When you hear legends of the game saying that 50 over cricket is going to be phased out because it's no longer competitive. Our own test captain Ben Stokes retired from 50 over cricket. What do you think that should do whatever to the low countries like Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania? If 50 over cricket is going down with the bigger nations, will we ever get a chance to play India? Probably in T20, but not 50 overs.
Yeah, I think the argument has been that 50 over cricket is like the middle child between three kids competing against test cricket. I think there are extremes on one end who like test cricket. I think those are the purists of cricket. And then there's a new generation that has just fallen in love with T20 because it is shorter and faster. And their heroes are Chris Gale. Yet in the past, most people's heroes would be Bran Lara or Steve Waugh or Shen Won. Now things are changing, and there is 50 over cricket. You don't know who is who. You don't know whether Shikhar Dhawan is your favorite player or Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli, who are very, very good ODI players. So ODI has suffered. I think someone told me that ODI is like the short version of Test cricket. Because things also take long to happen, so it's a case of here and there, but you want to feel that probably all the three formats will be able to coexist. But I think eventually there will be people on one side and people on the other, and definitely 50 over cricket may be the one to suffer that the fate.
Yeah, it's sad, especially given the numbers money wise. Of course, 50 over cricket doesn't attract a lot of cash bags, so of course the purists, like you said, they favor test cricket as we see a boundary. The guy at point tried to dive to stop that one. Ceylon Lions charging on 94 for 5 after 13 overs. So back to the debate on 50 over cricket. Yeah, it may fall victim because the young generation prefers the short version, and of course they want to emulate the past stars. You can't really mention any past star in 50 over cricket, so you'll have to choose in between. But I hope all in all Test cricket stays, because Test cricket is the pinnacle of cricket, and that's where you judge someone's ability as a player in Test cricket. You know those wonderful spells, Catley Ambrose 7 for 1 in Perth. Maybe Ian Botham in the Ashes 81. You're talking of 400 runs by Brian Lara. Those are things that you will never even if someone scores 150 in T20 cricket. Okay, so what, he has scored it. But the 153 Lara scored in Test cricket against Australia, those are some of the memorable Test innings that people talk about for years to come. So it is sad that 50 over cricket has been caught, like you said, in the middle of a young child and an elder child. But something has to give. But I still believe they can coexist, although 50 over cricket gets boring after 20 overs, and say spinners come on up to 40 overs. Basically, it's too predictable. You won't have a spell, 2 new balls, no more reverse swing. it's mainly one-sided. So yet T20, you can have the sixes, you can have a hat-trick there. And of course, it ends quickly. And people can have 2 games in a day. Finals day in England, they play 2 semi-finals and a final in one day. I no longer even hear of the Benson and Hedges match. It used to be a very, very big trophy back then, but now
I think now it's called the Royal something.
Royal London Cup.
Yeah.
But it doesn't attract the best. You'll find Joe Root playing golf when his team is going to play the final. So that's the story of 50 over cricket. Even the sponsors, I think, are going away. So I think we need India to really, as Weiser sweeps that one for 4.
Loud cheers there from the youngsters, who are clearly, they've chosen their side. They are supporting the home side, Ceylon Lions, who are trying to make a charge for this total. Not far from them, they need 50. Ceylon Lions need 52 runs of 32 balls.
Yeah, 52 in 32, the team total, of course. I mean, with the team score, that is gettable with 5 wickets in hand. Kenneth Weiser looks set, as long as he doesn't lose his head. That should be a modern second for a lovely sweep shot there. But it should be gettable as a team. So Dennis, who is sponsoring this MCC tour? Did we up? Like, when are you free?
They tell you this is when we are coming, and you make yourself ready. I see it.
Affiliated to top universities that play at county level, at first class level. There are some traditional universities. Derby, there's one in Derby, there's one in, I'll remember them, but they're like 6. Previously, those MCC universities, I'm sure you've seen, short from Kenneth Weiser, I'm sure you've seen when Australia will tour, or India, or when they are playing against an MCC University 11. So there are some traditional universities that play first class cricket. They are affiliated to MCC, but MCC as a cricket club, it doesn't play competitively.
Kenneth Weiser picking his gap very well, splitting the 2 men, one at long of this time, nearly gets it down the throat of, I think he thought there was no one there.
Actually, it's very hard to tell that there's a fielder there in that Ceylon Lions dugout, because the uniforms are kind of similar.
Good shot there from Stephen Wabose. Man does well and he keeps it in. For a second I thought it was a 4, but should have gotten more than 2, but I think they thought it would go away for 4. Carl Myers hit a shot like that against Australia.
Kalmaya's shot was out
Off.
of the, off a fast ball and went over point for 6. And what in that second deck? Those shots, they look so elegant when left-handers are playing them. I don't know why. But Wabos has always been a promising young player. A good hand-eye coordination. Looks elegant when he's driving the ball through the covers and on the onside. Good player, one that we could really develop to help us balance. We have so many right-handers in our top order or top to middle order. So as someone Coach Mahatlan can look at, and I think he's also a wicket keeper. Is he still doing wicket keeping duties? Yeah. So this is a very good test for young Kenneth Waiso and Stephen Wabose. If they can take Ceylon Lions home, that's what they call taking responsibility.
Yeah.
So let's see if they can do this. The total is manageable. They don't need to go big all the time. So this is a good test for them in front of their national team coach to see if they can take their club home.
Yeah, that's so true. I think the cricket cranes in the past have had a couple of match winners, Dinesh Nakrani and Riazat Alisha in T20 cricket. But I think if they have a lot more in Stephen Wabos or Kenneth Waiso, that works well for the head coach Lawrence Mahatlani. And these opportunities to play very good opposition don't come very often in Ugandan cricket. So this is a chance for them to be able to take the bull by its horns and take Ceylon Lions home.
Yeah, certainly. As the left arm tearaway comes back into the attack.
Quick hands there from Sam Badge behind the stumps. Third man, DRS. We check foot behind the line or in the air.
Good umpiring from the leg umpire. I think the batsman was in.
But it does the right thing. I mean, the benefit is always for the batsman if there's no technology.
Exactly, the benefit should go to the batsman. But those were quick hands from the wicket keeper. Wicket keeper of that stature tend to be very good. The Afghanistan former wicket keeper, very good.
You mean guys my size, right? Sure, there from Steven Wabose. Gets good bat onto weight. Very good running between the stumps there from Kenneth Waiso. Took the first one very fast because he knew the throw would be coming back his end. The fielder trying to be wise, but his arm is not strong enough to reach the keeper in time to get Wabose out of his ground. Problem there, Wabose hit it so high in the air, so he didn't get some very good elevation.
That's what we were talking about, Dennis, earlier. It's high time these young players took responsibility for their actions. Stephen Wabose didn't need to do that. So the next batsman has to start. You're already set. You've been there for a couple of overs. You're seeing the ball nicely. Then you do that. Just nudge the ball around for 2. The bad ball, hit it for 4. But then I think that's the other side of the coaching that Coach Mahatlan and his team needs to work on. The mental side of the players. What is he thinking at a particular time? You need you have 4 overs to go. You're not behind the run rate. So what is going through your mind as a batsman? Kenneth Waiso, being one of the vice captains of the country, should be talking to him to guide him through. So this is a true testament to see our mental aspect. Some of these games we don't lose them because the opposition is so much better than us, but it's because of what we are thinking, our execution at the time. So let's see what the young batsman who has come on tries to do. Ceylon Lions charges towards, well, they are no longer charging towards the total, but tries to win this game.
I think that's like you mentioned, it's just 16.3 overs. Maybe Stephen Wabose tried to go after the total very early, so soon. I remember Coach Martin Sojizo always used to tell you that Fika Karibu, first get close, and then anything can happen at the back end of the innings because pressure works both ways. So probably he tried to go after it. He has just played a very good shot over the bowler. He could have just walked the ball anywhere into the gaps, and they run 2. So 2 runs, they need just 11 runs every over. 2 runs off every ball is easily 12 runs. The new batter, Hassis Dilhara. Shot there by Kenneth Weiser, gives himself room. Hits it hard. That is a very good shot with very little risk and getting very good reward for his team.
Good cut shot from Kenneth Weiser to finish the over. Dennis, there have been some talks in cricketing circles, people who love, of course, their cricket cranes, about the role of Kenneth Weiss on our national team. They feel that we as a country, we pick him to be a batsman, for instance. Then when he scores 0, he takes 4 wickets. Or when we pick him to be the bowler, a bowling all-rounder, risky run there, he scores 50 and goes for 8 and over. Is it time, I was having a discussion with one of the selectors, is it time that we started picking players accordingly? Say you need 6 batsmen and a wicket keeper plus 4 bowlers. Maybe with your 6 batsmen you have 1 all-rounder, but as
gift of the wicket there, Kenneth Weiss were giving it away after playing so well. It's 3 more overs now. Ceylon Lions staring down the barrel of a defeat because they've nearly run out of guys who can bat. Because walking in right now is David Wabwire.
So Dennis, back to the other sentimental view that I was putting along. What is Kenneth Weiss's role on the team? Is he a batting all-rounder, bowling all-rounder, a batsman who can bowl a bit? We believe he hides all the management, especially maybe the captain on that day, hides him there. If he has a bad day with the bat, which he has been having of recent, then he comes up. Of course, here we read he has taken 3 wickets. We are not on the ground to say that most of them maybe were full tosses or half volleys and good fielding here and there. So people who are following their cricket, they are eager to know. They ask us these questions, but also as we see little of Kenneth Weiss, so especially now on the international scene. I didn't follow the last 2 that keenly, but they felt that he was hiding, or we are hiding him from his primary role. Is it the time we tell him you're the number 4? We want runs. If you can come and get a couple of wickets for us, it's fine, but you're not on the team as a bowler. Wawire gets off the mark with a 4, which should help the cause.
I think Kenneth Weiss is, by his own standard, is a bowling all-rounder. I mean, he's a batting all-rounder. And, of course, he's, I think, one of the guys that would use in those overs from around number 10 to 17, where they need someone to fill up. David
As-
Wabwire plays that one on and loses his wicket. Now 8 wickets down, 121 for 8 Ceylon Lions. So,
Well-
but I think he's still developing as a player. For me, he would be like Ben Stokes or Mitchell Marsh, the guys who can really bat but can also bowl 2-3 decent overs for you in a game. So
Kenneth Foyce was the opening ball of the Uganda under 19 team.
yeah, I mean in the under 19 team he could be the opening bowler, but when you come into the national team setup, there are already people there, so maybe you will not fit in like that. So now even in a 50 over game is the kind who will give you 6 good overs when you're trying to make up overs before your main bowlers come back. So I thought his development should be in that angle, that his Mitchell Marsh, his Cameron Green, his okay, Moeen Ali bowls spin, but the way England use him is more of a batting all-rounder. So maybe I don't know if that role is clear to him in the national team setup, but his primary focus for the team and where the team is very deficient, I think, is with the bat. He should be someone they should go to for runs. The same way the Deus started the same way, like a bowler who can bat a bit, but now is essentially a batter who can bowl a few overs.
Okay, so our team is riddled with so many all-rounders. Because if you have Rizat opening bowling, sometimes if Nakarani is around, he's bowling fast change. Then you have Deus, you have Kenneth Foyce. Those are already 4 bowlers. So
Colin Zabong, the new batter for Ceylon Lions.
Abong gets off the mark with a nice shot to mid-off. Abong has been a good servant for Ceylon Lions ever since it came into the fray. Three overs to go. Ceylon Lions needs 28. Actually, 2 overs to go. 28 runs to win. This level, it's still gettable. Still gettable. Let's see who holds their nerve in their end. But of course, it's very much in MCC's favor. 2 overs to go, 28 runs to win.
$29 of 12, not impossible. Difficult now because Ceylon Lions has lost 8 wickets. Ran out there, Colin Zabong made the call and then hesitated. And he wasn't never in time to complete the running. 9 wickets down, Ceylon Lions.
Dennis, as we are watching this, England has posted 208 runs in their T20 friendly against Australia. Should be noted that Australia is using a second string bowling attack. I was watching some excerpts of that game on my way here. Jos Buttler, the England captain, back in the fray. Interesting to know who has been among the runs, but a good build up to the T20 World Cup starting probably next week. That game was being played at the Perth Optus Stadium. Drop-in wicket.
Just Butler scoring runs straight out. It's like he has never away. He's just returned from injury.
Yes, just Butler scoring 68 off 32 balls, going at 2 runs a ball. And Alex Sales scoring 80 off 51. No much significant contributions from the rest, but a good...
Ben Stokes back.
Yeah, Ben Stokes was back, struggled, run a ball 9. Harry Brook wasn't among the runs. Moinali wasn't. But I think Australia was testing its depth. The likes of Ken Richardson, Sams, Ellis, those are very good bowlers that don't make it to the Australian team. But as I said, good build up to the cricket T20 World Cup. These teams are going to
That will be the end of the innings. 224 all out. Ceylon Lions.
Correction, 124.
124.
Yeah, that catch taken at long on, long off. Yeah, skied. We thought it was coming for 6. But yeah, Ceylon Lions losing their way, losing the last 5 wickets cheaply. To lose with over 6 balls or 8 balls to spare. Let's hope they will come up better in the second game in the afternoon.
28 runs win for the MCC in the first T20 game. Ceylon Lions 124 all out, failing to chase 152 for the win. Not a lot of notable contributions there for Ceylon Lions. Kenneth Wise on any age, the highest scorer. A lot of stats but none converted. Rowan at the top of the order and Robinson Obuya. And in the end, they ran out of resources at only 124. There will be a second T20 game here in the afternoon. Hopefully that Ceylon Lions come back stronger in the afternoon and they are able to pick up the win. We'll take a break for now and we'll be back for the second game in about an hour's time, starting at 2 o'clock. MCC winning by 28 runs. Ceylon Lions hopefully all out for 124. Second game of this time by 2 o'clock.